I wanted to ask you because Guinness, some people seem it's like love at first sight, and for others it's an acquired taste. Your first point to Guinness, were you hooked from the start, or did it take a while to get there?
Absolutely. Like, I'm always very honest about this whole Guinness Guru thing. Like, I was now absolute, whatever I am now, I've gained a bit of knowledge because I've been doing it for a few years, but like I had some audacity to call myself a Guinness Guru when I started, because I was only drinking the stuff probably 2 or 3 years, and I started it when I was like 26. So it's not like I was drinking it since I was 18. I remember having my first, this is probably, how old are you lads?
25.
Yeah, this would be before yous were drinking, I would hope. So I'm 30, so yeah. So when I was like, when I was 16, police come and get me. It was Arthur's Day, like 2009. It was like this 250 year anniversary of Guinness, and I had my first can of Guinness then, and to be honest, I probably drank it out of a can, which wasn't a smart move. It was probably warm, but I just remember thinking, sweet Jesus, this is horrendous. And then I probably didn't touch it again until I was about maybe 20. Like when I was 18, it's the funny thing now, 18-year-olds are drinking Guinness and stout and all not because of me, but just because of the whole social media.
Yeah, it's a lot trendier.
It's a lot trendier, yeah. Whereas when I was 18, you'd have been looked at like a
lunatic.
So that was like, 12 years ago. So when I probably tried it when I was maybe 20. Again, just didn't like it. But then I don't really remember a particular moment where I was like, oh, I actually like it now. But it's like, I don't know, you just have a couple more, and then since then I've always just found it's like, if we went down the pub now and we're like, right, you know, early kickoff, we're going to be in the pub all day. If I was drinking beer, I'd be in absolute rag order. Not drunk, but I'd be so gassy, you know? Whereas I just find Guinness just kind of goes down pretty smooth. But yeah, and then even when I started and I was calling it Guinness Guru, it was just called like, I was thinking Pint Reviews or Guinness Guy or something, and then Guinness Guru was just fairly catchy.
True.
And then like the comments at the start were always, because if you go to my earlier videos, jeez, I'm talking about my absolute hole.
Really?
Oh, I still do. But Jesus Christ, it's just, I hadn't a clue. I didn't even know, like there's a pub called Kyo's on St. Anne Street, whatever, just off Grafton Street. Like everyone knows it, really famous pub. I went there, and keep in mind, I was literally like 26 years old, like I was a grown man. I'd never even heard of it, like, so I have no problem putting my hand up and saying I completely bullshitted my way through those first couple of years, and then learned a little bit of stuff. So, but yeah, fuck, I think it's easier to take the piss out of yourself before other people do. So I always just say Guinness Guru my arse. I'd nearly like comment that under my own stuff before the other people get there.
It's something about self-deprecating humor that just brings everyone together, doesn't it?
And that's like all my favourite shows and all are like those kind of mockumentaries, like you know, The Office, UK Office, like Trailer Park Boys, all these shows that are the guys who are looking like absolute idiots in the show. They've written the show. You know what I mean? I think that's like the peak of comedy, where you can just totally like write yourself as an absolute fucking idiot. Like, it's nearly like a character you're playing.
True.
Sick. A lot of the terms you use, like splitting the G or domage and all those things, are they still few new prior to coming into this, or are they still few made up like along the way?
Okay, so I have to be, credit is very important in this life, isn't it? So I think, so first one was, so I started Guinness Guru, the channel, with a guy called Colin O'Maylod. I always have to give him his shout out. He was the kind of one who came to me, and he saw I was doing random shit on YouTube, and he saw your man Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports doing the pizza reviews, and he said, maybe you could do this with Guinness. And he came around, he was on the camera for the first while, and we started doing it. And he, from the get-go, to be honest, I never asked him if he just thought of it or someone said it to him, but he had said like shtick from the very start. So that was all cozy. And then Split the G we were having pints for a friend who was going away to Australia, and a friend of mine, Sean Kent, he's gotten about 1 million shout outs on my channel. But he said, did you ever split the G? And I'd been doing the Guinness Guru thing probably only about 6 months or a year, and then we started doing that, and then nearly the most messages. I always get messages. I wake up to messages from lads at like 12 o'clock or 1 in the morning, and they're sending it from the pub, and it's like, settle the debate. Is it split the G or is it split the
The harp and
and the top of the thing. I just say split the G because like there, I was like stumbling out, split the harp but like it's all about what rolls off the tongue. So split the G is easier. So that was him. I think the only one I thought of was domage. And because me and my mates would just put idge after anything.
Fair.
But then it goes on to like kind of Dome Malone, Domer Simpson, like Dome, all this
it just takes a life of its own.
Takes a life of its own, yeah. So I think that's the main three kind of silly phrases.
It's funny because you walk into any pub and they're like just terms that people just say now randomly.
I know, it is wild. And I think like we'll probably get into it at some stage. But yeah, like over the last, say, few months, I kind of said I'm changing from Guinness Guru just to Daragh Curran, and I still stand by that. That was a good move because, like, just in terms of any sort of
brand
with anyone else in the future.
Yeah.
But there was like 6 months where I was going around, and I know you said you didn't mind where I was eating if it was a toasty or whatever, but it wasn't even that it was just when you've got it's always, the grass is always greener on the other side, right?
Of course, yep.
When you've got a niche like Guinness, you're like, oh, I'm very much pigeonholed here. What am I going to do for the rest of my life? I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But you've got another 100 video ideas just like that, because you're like, I'll just go to this place, I'll go to that place. And then on the other hand, when you take that niche away, you're not pigeonholed, but then what are you?
Like
people need to, people need to be able to show their youth to their friend on their phone and go, I should follow this lad. And they should be able to sum you up in two or three words. So if that's, he goes around and drinks pints, so be it. Do you know what I mean? That's grand. So I think I went so far away from trying to be known just for Guinness that I went away from the actual pub stuff.
Yes,
which is what I, like I said in that video, that's actually what I've fallen in love with. What was the question?
It started off with the terms domage or whatever else, but like I think where you're going with it.
So what you're saying about and then I had to step back and go, well, yeah, like again, and I'm always very conscious. I'm not trying to sit here and say I've fucking done anything great, but like that is the case. Like you go into pubs and say 50%, the lads who are saying the words, whatever, and then there's the other lads who are rolling their eyes, going, "Oh my god, But it's still there and it's still around the place. So it is kind of mad, yeah. Like it's people probably saying shtick and domage who maybe never even heard of me, kind of thing, which is kind of cool as well. So, it definitely. I don't know if it's the new year. I'm not really one of these. I'm definitely not a new year, new me type of person. But there's just something a bit different in the air. I don't know, in my brain or what it is, but just seeing things a bit more clearly. And it's like, well, look at what you've built up, and you're not don't just throw that away completely, you know. So that's where we're at.